Hi there, Sean Clancy here. We've all got lots of time to practice at the moment, so I thought I'd give a quick lesson on developing studio quality timing. This is a lot trickier than it looks. It all begins with counting, so we're not actually going to play guitar right now. We're going to be counting chord notes, eighth note triplets, 16th notes, and be able to move deliberately between those subdivisions without speeding up or slowing down into them. You want to use short words and so first we're going to count the strong beats, which are basically the 1, 2, 3, 4s. So listen through the sound of your voice, locate the clicks and count on those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not so hard, is it? If you can count to 4. Now the main thing is to get it nice and even and right on the click. So now we're going to take that beat, each beat of those strong beats, and we're going to cut it in half. Okay, so we're going to put the ends between those two beats, between those 4 beats, sorry. So here we go. I'll start off with a 3-4 count and then into it. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Great. Next subdivision is triplets. Now this is very tricky. A lot of students, when they they start to do some practice, and then they start counting the triplets like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. This is not triplets. Triplets are nice and even, like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a nice and even. I started doing some 16th notes. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So the 1, 2, 3, 4s are in the same place, but we're going to split the beat now into 3 parts. So let's try that 3-4 beat to start off. 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay, the last subdivision that we're looking at is 16th notes, and of course you can do multiples of these. It gets a bit trickier. So you really need to memorize these phrases. You want them to be automatic pilot into your muscle memory, so you don't have to think about it. If you're a man and you have to do 2 difficult things at one time, it doesn't seem to work. But we need to. That was a joke, not a very good joke. Okay, so we're going to be counting 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Now you're going to need to memorize that because all the syllables have separate sounds. And you might notice I'm not going 1E and a 2E, I'm going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. It's got to be even in time with itself. All of these subdivisions have to be even. So I'm going to do a 3-4 count and then count that. 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. I finished on a 1 because that's the start of the next bar. Alright, so we're going to, stage 1 of this exercise is to go up to 16th notes. We're going to count quarter notes, 8th note triplets, and then 16th notes. And we're going to make sure that we move decisively, but so that we're not speeding up into a subdivision. We're just nailing it straight from the get-go. So let's use the metronome. Take a big breath. We don't want you passing out in these diatimes. It's not a good look. So ready? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Very good. Alright, so stage 2. You're going to go up and then you're going to go down. So it's going to be chord notes, 8th note triplets, 16th notes, 8th note triplets, 8th notes, chord notes. And once again, big breath. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and a 2, the 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job, even though I can't see you through my video. Now, you need to practice that. You can do this anywhere where there's music, because if you can locate the snare, which is usually on the 2 and the 4 in a pop song, you can practice counting your subdivisions. And you want to do this as much as possible. Put on a whole album and just practice counting the subdivisions from the album. Get it in here. Count out loud. You need to count at this stage. You might, if you're not good at this, you want to count out loud. Make your fingers, everything follow your voice. So, once you've got this down, let's just take one note. We're going to use this A on the G string, 2nd fret, and we're going to count through those subdivisions. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so you've introduced now counting and playing at the same time. What we're going to do now is we're going to learn the G major scale and apply our counting to this. So the G major scale is simply gap, gap, 3, 5, 7 on the E string and the A string. Move up in position to the 4th fret. We're going to have 4, 5, 7 on both strings, the D and the G string. Then we're going to move up another position and go 5, 7, 8 on the B and the E string. So we're going to go up and down that, okay? And you might want to just practice going up and down this, getting used to it. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to apply our subdivisions to this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, etc. So the benefit of going up and down the scale or any other scale is usually you'll start launching off your bar on a different finger than you usually would. So it's really good from that aspect. You can do this with all your scales, all your arpeggios, whatever you like. I like to do it with triplets, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so I do it on my sweeps, everything. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to jumble it up. I'm going to give you some exercises for that. So let's take one beat of 8th notes, one beat of triplets, one beat of 8th notes, one beat of triplets. So it'll be like this: 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. What about let's do triplets, 16th note, triplets, 16th notes. 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and yeah. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to jumble them up. How about chord notes, 8th notes, 8th notes, triplets, 16th notes. 1, 2 and 3 and 4E and 1. Yeah. So now what you want to do is apply this to your playing. And once again, you have to be. You want to start off slowly. But this, if you count and make your fingers follow your voice, it'll be studio quality timing. I've used this with my students and it's amazing the difference it makes. So let's try just chord notes and 8th notes. And we're going to use the A minor pentatonic. Everybody should know this. Okay, so I usually start on the higher notes. I don't want to start on the low notes, they're a bit muddy. You won't be using that when you solo, but because we're doing soloing right now, we'll get to rhythm. But at this point, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. once you can do that, you know, you're jumbling it up. You're the boss. You make the timing. It's coming from here. Your fingers must obey. You're the boss, not the fingers. Okay, so we're going to add triplets now. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 3, 4. Does that make sense? So now I'm starting to jumble up, add some triplets. Now we're going to add 16th notes. I might add a 9 in here, just because it gives me a bit more mileage, especially in the fastest 16th notes. So here we go. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm doing now is I'm always counting the quarter notes. But when I want to use a subdivision, then I count it out. So I only add one ender when I want to do 16th notes, triplets from that beat. But always count the quarter notes. Always count it out loud. Make your fingers follow your voice. It'll make all the difference. Because if you play something out of time, it means nothing. Alright, so, and this is harder than it looks, believe it or not. Of course, there's everything else that you need to play, like vibrato. Everything needs to be in time. Timing is the most important thing. I have 5 things when I'm playing that I think of. First is timing. Second is geometric diagrams on the fretboard in conjunction with my ear. Third thing is licks. Fourth thing is sequences. And the last thing is technique. So, because I'm playing live, those are the things I'm thinking of. Timing is always number one. I'm always thinking to myself, don't rush, don't rush. It seems to work wonders. So now we're going to do rhythm playing. So we're covering it all today. We haven't talked about groups of 5 or groups of 7. So when you count with this, you're going to make sure that your downstrokes are on the strong beats, which are 1, 2, 3, 4. And you need to develop the ability to hear the strong beats, because you want to finish your lines on a strong beat. Otherwise it sounds like either a question, or it sounds like it's, when you finish on a strong beat, it ties that musical statement up with a bow, if you like. So you need to be able to finish on a strong beat, be able to know where they are, the 1, 2, 3, 4s I'm talking about. Alright, so with my students, I often get them to put 4 fingers lightly on the fretboard, because they're just working on this hand. So basically, if I put a metronome on, it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the chord notes. Then they're going to add 8th notes, which are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4s are always in the same place. And then the triplets, you're still going up and down, but you got to. This is where control becomes. If you work on this, your control will be good, because you're accenting the strong beats, and they're going to alternate. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and without speeding up or slowing down, keeping it nice and even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you don't put the accents in, it sounds weird. So and then 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. Yep. So of course the counting for the rhythms, your exercise for rhythm playing would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that will actually give you, if you can work on that, it'll get you strumming together. Of course, there's a lot more to it than just that. But when you do it like that, and you go into a studio and you've got your timing down for your soloing, you've got your timing down for your rhythm, and you can do this without thinking, then it'll sound good. and you won't have to spend so much time in the studio. You'll take maybe a couple of takes, you're done. It costs you very little money, costs the producer very little money, and you'll get more work because you can like do first take solos, first take rhythm playing, because usually the mistakes happen when people play at a time. That's really what happens most of the time. Alright, so if I take a G chord and just do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 4 1. So hopefully that'll give you something to work on during the downtime that we have at the moment. Once again, make sure it's even. You're the boss of the time. You choose the subdivisions. You may want to write down every permutation of 4 bars, between 8th note triplets, 8th notes, 16th notes, quarter notes. And you don't have to start. Also, once again, you don't have to start right on the strong beat. What I mean by that is you may like 1, 2, and 3, rather than 1, 2, and 3. You might want to start. You can hold 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hold it for as many notes as you like. In fact, you can hold it until you have a new idea. That's all I've got to say about that. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. If you like this video, then you can hit the subscribe button below. And keep safe out there, wash your hands, keep social distancing. Hopefully you might watch this and all of that will be over. But until then, you've got lots of time to practice. And this is from Clancy. I'm giving Skype lessons, so I'm available for those. To all my Polytech students, watch this, rehearse it, practice it. We talked about this during lessons. It's a big skill to learn, and a lot of music is skill, and like a lot of the guitar is skill and troubleshooting, problem solving. So solve your problems, persevere, because perseverance, you won't get any rewards if you don't persevere.